Hey guys, it's Doc Farhan. Today I want to break down this problem of ED. A lot of men suffer from ED, and if you're one of these people who are having problems in the bedroom with your romantic partner, be it the desire for her, or be it, you have the desire but you are unable to get it up. I used to suffer from these problems myself many years ago, and I figured out a way to reverse this decline, and I'm going to tell you the solution in this video. It's a very, very simple solution, but before we get into that, I want to make sure that you understand why it's happening. Okay, so let's first break down the science of ED and what the major problems are. So there are multiple problems that have to do with why you used to be able to get it up. You used to have morning wood. You used to, it'd be very rock hard, maybe when you were a teenager or when you were in your 20s, but then due to perhaps some sort of stress levels, hypertension, diabetes, or even some sorts of addictions to video games or pornography or other stimulations, you are now suffering from some sort of dysfunction in the bedroom. So let's first break this down. There is a hormone aspect to it, right? There's a testosterone, nitric oxide, cortisol aspect to it, but there's also a blood flow aspect to it. Now, I personally, in my life, in my journey, discovered the method, the exact mechanism through which this blood flow malfunctions, right? Because, I studied this deeply. I looked at the mechanisms. I looked at the cascades that are happening inside of our bodies, and I solved it at the mechanistic level. So let's dig deeper into the science. So how does it all work, right? So in the brain, now I'm trying to, this is a video, so I'm trying my best not to use any vulgarity or any of those words, because then it could get flagged. So imagine in the brain, you get an impulse, right? You see a beautiful girl, or you see your wife naked in the bedroom. Because I used to suffer from this. I used to see those, I used to have women in the bedroom with me, and I couldn't get it up to save my life. And I did suffer, so I have a personal understanding of this suffering, this pain. So imagine you get the neurogenic, or you get the physical sensation. What happens? Well, in the brain, there are certain areas that trigger neurotransmitters. For instance, there's this neurotransmitter / hormone known as dopamine. Now, what dopamine does is it is part of the desire circuit. It allows you to anticipate pleasure. It allows you to anticipate a reward. So when you see something that's beautiful, like a beautiful girl, your girlfriend, your wife, your dopamine desire circuit should get stimulated, right? And now it's not just dopamine, there's oxytocin involved, because oxytocin is the touch hormone. It's what what the mother and the child experience during milk letdown, which is breastfeeding. And so because of these hormones, dopamine as well as oxytocin, you get this in your brain, you get this anticipation for reward. Now that is supposed to trigger your rock hard member and your friend down there to become rock hard, but that usually doesn't happen for people with ED. Now, why doesn't it happen? Perhaps there is an issue with the dopamine circuit, but usually it's not that, right? Because if you love your wife, you are attracted to her, you've had this love for many years, perhaps, the desire is usually there. So that's not the issue we're talking about. There's something more. I'm going to get into what happens down there in the penile arterioles very soon, so you can understand how to reverse that. So now you have that circuit in the brain activated. Now there's another circuit which is in the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the testes, you know, in your testicles. So in the brain, there's the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, which trigger hormones, and this hormone cascade eventually triggers the release of T, right? Test, which obviously you know what this is. So now T levels have to increase through this stimulation that you are getting from the girl, right? Okay, so that's fair enough. You have one dopamine circuit, which is probably okay in you, unless you're, if you're suffering, if you're not able to get an appetite, then obviously you're gonna have ED, but I'm assuming that's okay for you. Now, let's say even your T levels are okay, right? If they're within range. Now, if you have low T levels, that's a problem, and I'm gonna get into how to counteract that. But let's assume your T levels are fine, right? They're not super low, so you're able to have that desire. You know, that circuit in your brain and all the way to your testes is fine. Let's assume that too. Now, the third one is the most important one. This is the crux of this video. It is the nitric oxide pathway. Now, a lot of men, they get their blood test done, and maybe you've had your blood test done. You can get T levels tested, right? Total T, free T, bioavailable T. You can, get other, you can get your blood sugar tested. You can get your cholesterol levels tested. You can get your vitamin D, zinc, magnesium. You can get a lot of tests done, but you cannot get a test for nitric oxide. That's a really hard one. So it's very difficult for men to know when their nitric oxide has depleted. But in myself, in my journey, I figured out that I had very low T. So I figured out a way to reverse that decline, and I got my T levels to double, right? 100% natural. But then there's this thing about nitric oxide. Now, how does nitric oxide work? Well, when T is released in your penile, you know what penile is, penile, arterioles, and sinusoids, that triggers the release of nitric oxide. Now, why is that important? In order for you to get it up, you need to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, let me break this down a little bit, some neuroscience for you here. We have a sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight. You know, this is when you're being chased by a predator, or you are chasing prey, or when you get an orgasm. These are the sympathetic nervous system mechanisms, and this is what allows us to get adrenaline pumping in our body, something that requires a lot of energy, not so much relaxation. But the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what you're supposed to activate to get it up, that is what you need to counteract that sympathetic nervous system, right? You need to have a balance. Sympathetic nervous system is when you get aroused, you have this energy to, go savage on her and ravish her, right? Take her. But then you have this parasympathetic nervous system, which is to relax and calm you down. And this is what is usually the problem in ED. There's many types of ED, and the main one that is in most men, the problem is vascular ED. And why is it vascular? Because it has to do with blood vessels. How? So if you think about how the penile, arterioles, and sinusoids work down there, you need a relaxation of your smooth muscle cells, right? The tissue that makes up your friend down there is made up of smooth muscle cells. These smooth muscle cells need to relax, not contract, but relax. If they're contracted, it will be flaccid and limp. But when they are relaxed, the smooth muscle cells, you will get hard and you will get amazing morning wood like you used to. But what triggers it becoming hard? Nitric oxide. And nitric oxide depletion happens in people with hypertension because, so again, what is hypertension, right? This is decreased blood flow, high blood pressure. Imagine an artery which is this big, right? Here, let me show you. Let's say it's this big, okay? And blood is going through it. Now, if it becomes this big, it constricts. It's known as vasoconstriction. It's going to be hard for blood to get in. Before, blood could get in easily. Now blood cannot get in. So there are arteries that go from your heart to your penile arterioles. Those arteries vasoconstrict when your parasympathetic nervous system is not activated. And because they vasoconstrict, you cannot get blood flow down there. It's that simple. So if you increase nitric oxide production, you will have higher blood flow and lower blood pressure. So that is one way to alleviate high blood pressure. It is to just increase blood flow through nitric oxide. Now there's many ways to do it, right? Nitric oxide production, there's this theory that if you activate the vagus nerve, you know, which is one of the nerves in your cranium, by doing humming, like that can trigger nitric oxide production. There's all these woo-woo theories, right? And this being one of them, and there's very many more. But what is the scientific mechanism, right? So before I tell you the solution, which I'm getting very, very soon, let me tell you how arteries and veins work down there so you understand. And also, I'm going to tell you how Viagra works. This is also very interesting. So imagine you have blood flow from your heart to your penile arterioles. Your arterioles will vasodilate. They're going to become bigger. And blood can easily get in and you become rock hard. But blood also has to stay in. So the veins that let the blood out, right? The penile veins, they let the blood out of your member down there. Those veins have to vasoconstrict. They have to get blocked so the blood stays in. And when the blood stays in, you remain hard for minutes and hours and as long as you want. That's the solution that I came up to many years ago. And now my clients are using it, my friends are using it, my family is using it, and I'm about to tell you what it is. But again, to recapitulate, you want arteries to vasodilate, you want them to open up. And you want veins to vasoconstrict, you want them to close up. So the blood flow comes in to your arteries and you get rock hard, but it has to stay in your arteries. It has to stay in your tissue, and the veins have to be blocked so it doesn't leave. That's what Viagra does. The purpose of Viagra is to make sure the blood stays in. That's why for a lot of men who can get it up, but they can't keep it up, they take Viagra, because Viagra is not going to help you with your desire and your sexual appetite, but it will help you keep it up, right? And of course, there's a bunch of 5 or 6 negative side effects, and that's why it only works for maybe 30% of men. So most men are now, people who want to stay natural don't do the blue pill. So I would recommend you stay away from that and avoid the negative side effects and go 100% natural. So now what is the solution? What are we trying to get to? We want to have nitric oxide production, and we want to have increased blood flow down there. And we want to relax the smooth muscle cells. So the arteries vasodilate, they become bigger, so blood comes in. And the veins to vasoconstrict, veins to get blocked, the venous blockage, and so blood stays in there. And then you remain rock hard and you perform and you cure your ED and your dysfunctions in the bedroom. Okay, so what did I discover? Okay, and I'm gonna tell you what I discovered and what solved my problem, and now it's helped 50,000 men all over the world. The ingredient, the herb that Mother Nature has provided us, that I've discovered, it is known as Schisandra berry. Schisandra berry. Now, how does Schisandra berry work? And I'm going to tell you how to get Schisandra berry, and I'm going to tell you about a couple of more ingredients that I've discovered and how to get those. So Schisandra berry is simply something that has bioactive compounds inside that activate the nitric oxide pathway in your penile arterioles. not only does it activate this specific pathway, but it allows the blood to stay in and it blocks the veins so the blood can stay in and you can remain rock hard. It is known as Schisandra berry. Now, the best Schisandra berry is very hard to find. In the United States, there is one certified organic farm, and I got my Schisandra berry from there, and I'm going to show you how to get that. And that farm uses freeze-dried Schisandra berry powder, and I have figured out how to make it into capsules, and I'm going to tell you how to get those capsules. Now, you want Schisandra berry to be certified, USDA certified organic. You also want it to be freeze-dried, because if you spray dry Schisandra berry, it destroys the nutrients. So you want a very, very good process. You want organic farms. Now, how does Schisandra berry work exactly? Well, there are bioactive compounds inside. There's one called gomycin A, there's gomycin H, there's schisandrol, which is one of the bioactive compounds, and these work together to activate the nitric oxide pathway so you can have smooth muscle relaxation, you can vasodilate your arterioles, you can vasoconstrict your veins so blood stays there and you get increased blood flow so you can remain rock hard. That's literally how it works. Now, some of you, in the beginning I was talking about T levels and stress, which is cortisol, cortisol is the main stress hormone in men, in humans. So what if you don't just have a blood flow issue, but you also have a T level issue? Your total T, your free T, maybe you've gotten your blood test done, those are low. Because for me, I had a blood flow problem and I had a T level problem, and I solved both of those. So the ingredient to reverse your T levels decline is known as Tongkat Ali. Now you may have heard of this before as well. This is, there's 15 clinical trials to prove that this ingredient works in men, in human males. Clinical trials have been done, but you want to get the best Tongkat Ali, is what I discovered to be perfect for fixing my ED issues. And let me show you what this product looks like. Here it is, and it is known as aphro-d. This is the product that I've made, and I made this 4.5 years ago. It's been in the market for 4.5 years now. You can get access to it, but look, don't take my word for this, okay? This is my product. Of course, I'm going to be biased. I can say whatever I want, right? So I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to my customers and all of my clients and colleagues that have been taking aphro-d for over 4 years, okay? So this is the product. This product, aphro-d, it has Tongkat Ali, Schisandra berry, Hushu, and pearl powder, the 4 ingredients I just mentioned from the best quality farms. Now, I have blood test proof of my T level results, how I doubled my T levels, my total T, free T, and bioavailable T. I have blood test proof from my customers, which you can access, okay? I also have a lot of testimonials, video testimonials. So literally go on Google and type in aphro-d, okay? And you're gonna see those testimonials. Go on the Trustpilot website, which is a website which is a third-party website which we have nothing to do with. They review all different companies. Go on Trustpilot and look up aphro-d. Go look at the testimonials from real customers. Go on our website, aphro-d.com. Okay, and I'm going to show you the link. You can click the link in this ad and you can see all the testimonials, the video testimonials, the reviews from our customers. We have over 1,000 testimonials. You can go on YouTube and you can type in aphro-d reviews or just aphro-d, and you can look at all the customers and they're talking about their real experience with aphro-d over the last many years and how they've doubled their T levels, how they've gotten back their performance in the bedroom, how they've cured ED. All of that is available. I welcome you and I invite you to go look at those reviews from customers, and do not take my word for it. Do your own research. But this is the product. It's called aphro-d. Okay, this is what it looks like. This is the bottle. And there's one more thing. we have a Facebook group called aphro-d Nation. You can go on Facebook, you can add yourself to that group, and you can literally talk to the customers. We have over 10,000 members, almost 11,000 now as I'm making this video. You can go talk to these customers. You can literally join this group today, okay? You can go to this website. You can learn about the ingredients of aphro-d. You can learn more about the ingredients. There's all the details there. The studies are provided. And you can go on our Facebook group, aphro-d Nation, and you can talk to the customers. You can DM them. You can talk to them on Facebook Messenger. You can call them up. Like, find out for yourself what this product is, because it is a lifesaver. It is a game changer for so many men. Now we have over 50,000 customers all over the world in over 100 countries, and they're all loving it. So what are you waiting for? Click the link below and get started. We have amazing deals. We have free worldwide shipping. We have promotions going on right now. We have a 365-day guarantee, for God's sake. So I'm taking all the risk for myself. So if you're not satisfied for any reason, you can get all of your money back, return all the bottles, even if they're empty and used, get all of your money back, and you have a year to try it out. 365-day money back guarantee with aphro-d. Yeah, man, click the link below, get started, go on the website, read more about the ingredients, go on PubMed, read the articles, read the science about these herbs. We did our best, and we found the best suppliers in the entire world for these 4 ingredients, right? The organic certified Schizandra berry for blood flow. We have Tongkat Ali to increase T levels. The best one, with so many clinical trials have already been done on the Tongkat Ali. If you haven't even heard of Tongkat Ali yet, go look it up. Andrew Huberman talks about it, Joe Rogan talks about it. I mean, everyone's talking about it. And we have the best one from the rainforest of Malaysia. Like, we have literally the best Tongkat Ali in the world. Don't trust the stuff that Alibaba and Amazon are selling you. That's not good. That's gonna hurt you. And that's probably not Tongkat Ali to begin with. So, all right, man, this is Doc Farhan. I just wanted to tell you my story and how I've suffered in my life. And I don't want you to suffer anymore. I don't want the men in the world to suffer anymore, because we've done enough suffering. There's definitely something going on to reduce masculinity, reduce our manhood, whatever it is in the environment, in the water, in the food, and in the toxicity. And aphro-d is the solution right here. So I encourage you, check out aphro-d, do your research, get aphro-d right away. You have a 365-day guarantee. Yeah, man, this is Doc Farhan, and I'll talk to you soon.